In this video, we're going to be discussing the Mercedes-Benz stereo system and the challenges you will have if you want to upgrade and how to go around them and how to wire up everything successfully. Stick around. Hi everybody, welcome to Random Fix. So I am actually wiring up the Sprinter and I have both seat bases off and I've upgraded my speakers. So in this video, I'm going to be covering how to go and wire up everything so you can get your stereo system to sound better. And some of the options I'm going to recommend are free, and I'll leave you guys links to anything that I talk about, including other videos, in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and jump into the issue. I got everything apart, so I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and give you guys a full review of how the stereo system works, some things you should be aware of, like the center speaker, and where the wires are actually run, and how you can actually access these wires. And at the end, I will give you guys my feedback on if this is all worth it or not. Because honestly, it's a lot of work, and you have to pretty much pull a lot of this stuff out. And I'll also show you guys where the power is run. So we'll hit up the driver's side seat towards the end of the video. So let's go ahead and talk about the stereo system. So this is the 10-inch, and they also come with the 7-inch. They all have the same issue, which is the stereo system sucks, and it has two speakers that are in the doors and tweeters up here and also a center speaker right in the middle. So this stereo system is so bad that Mercedes-Benz issued a TSB, which is a technical service bulletin, and I'll link this down below so you can see it for yourself about the center speaker. And I've gone ahead and already done that, and I still didn't like the results. So the number one upgrade you can do on your Sprinter without having to spend any money is to disconnect the center speaker. And you don't need to disconnect both the leads. You just need to disconnect one, as you still want the SOS and Hey Mercedes to work. On top of that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the door speakers here. So I've gone through and upgraded my door speakers to a JBL component, and these come with tweeters. Tweeters have been upgraded, and the speakers that I got comes with a perfect mount. So I'll show you guys the wiring right now. So the wiring for the door speakers needs to go through this, and this is going to be a rubber boot, and basically you peel it off here. You access your wires once the door panel is off, and I have two videos on how you can upgrade your door speakers. In the very first van build, I upgraded to just JBLs, as you need a special bracket. And on this one, I did the components. If you're going unamplified, which means no amplifier, underneath the seat here or wherever you're going to put it, I would just go with the JBLs, and they're about $60 to $80, and you don't have to worry about fussing around with the tweeters or any of that, and there will be no need for this crossover. So if you decide to go with the components, once you have this removed and the door panel is off, you're going to have to send the signal back to the processing unit here, and then remove the tweeters, which is really easy. The cover just pops off. Take a pair of tweezers or needle nose pliers, and you pull up the tweeter, cut the line, and you fish it back down. I did not remove any of these panels here. And as a pro tip, try not to undo the clips and the panels on the Mercedes, as they're really finicky. Once you take them out, they don't ever fit perfect. So I try to leave all of these intact, and I've run a lot of wires without having to remove these. So the tweeter goes back here, and the woofer goes here, and then the input to the speakers is going to go right here from the amplifier. So I have to send the signal to the amplifier, which is underneath the seat here. And I bought this block mount because it has Bluetooth. So I want to be able to use this stereo system when the van is powered off. This amplifier actually works good, but when I'm using it with the high level inputs, so basically the speaker leads that are coming in, it starts to clip out at about 60 to 70% volume, and that's not going to work for me. So I've ordered another amplifier, as getting amplifiers for this vehicle is a little tricky because of the size. Space in the camper van is really going to be like gold. So I don't want to go and take up another part of the van. I want to keep it all up here if possible. And I am not doing a diesel heater here. I am doing a AC combo heater up there. So no need for that. So once you get your signals from your speakers here, you're going to have to then figure out how to get power here. So you're going to have to run power through this channel right here. And you will have to run a few different wires. One of them is going to be a 12 volt from the battery. So I have it running to this 50 amp breaker right here. And then you're going to have to run a remote so the stereo turns on once the vehicle has power, so it doesn't drain your battery. And I'll show you guys where to get that. I also ran another switch right here, so I can go ahead and overwrite that. And the way I did that, so I don't cross feed back in, I use a diode. And this is just a regular fuse holder, and I put a diode in here. That's one way, 1 amp. And I have a video on why diodes are a camper van's best friend. Anyway, super inexpensive way to make sure you don't lose any functionality. And before we move on to the power underneath the driver's side seat, this is going to be a little bit challenging, guys. So take that for what it's worth. You are going to have to wrestle with putting this back. And I do cover that in the speaker install video. Now let's jump back to the deck. So the deck does not have rear speakers enabled from factory. On most vans, you're going to have to go down to Mercedes-Benz and have them program the van so the fader actually appears on the display. Then you will have to remove the unit, which is not really that easy. You'll have to remove these vents and sometimes make special tools. It's a little complicated. Once that is removed, you have to put in 4 pins, and those 4 pins will give you rear speakers. So now you will be able to control a total of 4 channels, 2 in the front and 2 in the rear. There's a company called Midcity Engineering, and they make a special communication device that goes into your OBD2 port, and this costs about $200 or $250, and that too can enable the fader control, and they give you the 4 pins. So you can either go through Mercedes or you can go through Mid-Cities Engineering, and I'll leave you guys links for this again. So I know this probably sounds confusing, but don't worry, I got more for you. On certain vehicles, under the driver's side seat, there's actually going to be wires for the rear speakers that outfitters can go and tap into. My van doesn't have it, so we'll take a look at it. And before we go to the other side, I also wanted to mention that once you have this removed or you reach into here, there's actually a wiring harness. So you can go ahead and get the signal from here without going back to the door. I did it by removing the door panel, but this is definitely an option. The connectors are in here, and you can also reach up your hand through the bottom and get them that way. It's a little nice to be able to see them, so you can actually unclip them and figure out which lead is for what. And you could access that same wiring harness for the speakers on this side and also on the driver's side. Now let me go around and we'll talk about the power. And I recommend doing all of these things at the same time, guys. So I have hooked up a lights here and lights here, all at the same time, because you don't want to keep taking the driver's side seat or the passenger side seat off multiple times. And before I tell you about the power underneath the driver's side seat, I do have to mention you have to disconnect the battery unless you have a scan tool, because you are going to get an airbag light, and then you're going to have to run down to a dealer unless you have a scan tool that is able to go and work on this Mercedes. I have a couple of different scan tools that I use, and I'll leave you guys a review to one of them that has lifetime updates if you guys want to check that out. And it works really good for this Mercedes and can access all the different modules. So I've done the same on the driver's side here. This is the stereo output for Mercedes. I'm running it to these wires that go up and go down there to the amplifier and to the high level inputs, and then get amplified, and it powers up everything. So let's talk about powering your stereo system. and how you can do this effortlessly. So there's going to be a couple of different ways, and whichever way you like, just make sure you fuse it, and if possible, put a diode on there, as you're going to make sure you don't backfeed. Right here is the preferred way. So underneath this particular cover, there's going to be a total of 3 different ports. The one on the very left is going to be for the alternator. I don't use that. And the one in the middle is going to be constant, so it is always going to be powered on. It's limited to, I think, 20 amps. And again, do not load up the circuit. So I go and try to use a relay if I am going to go and use power from here whenever possible. Then on the very right is going to be the power that only turns on when the ignition is on. So that's what I tapped into. So once I got that signal, I went through and fused it, and I ran it to the other side through this channel. And in order to get access to the channel, there's going to be 2 10mm nuts you have to back off. One is here, and I put some tape on here, so that's why you can't see it, because once you undo it, it's really hard to get out, but the tape keeps it in the socket. And the other one is right where my middle finger is. And with this particular unit out of your way, you can then go feed the wires. Now you have to be able to get that 12 volt constant power over there that is going to be rated for an amplifier. So you're going to need anywhere from at least 25 amps to a couple of hundred amps if you're getting a really big amplifier. And you can do that several different ways. You can tap into some of these ports right here. You'll see them down there, right there. And I don't like doing that. So I don't like to mess with the Mercedes-Benz system. I hate touching any of their ground screws. So I make my own, and I run wires back to the actual battery because it's going to be a lot cleaner, and I don't have to go and worry about their delicate system. So here's the wire that I have run, and I ran it through this channel again. It's all protected. You could also go right here, and the negative is here as well if you need to tap into anything else. Then I took that power, I ran it to here. So this is going to be a 150 amp breaker. And this isn't one of those cheap breakers. You have to get a really good breaker. I'll leave you guys a link to this because you don't want this bugging out on you and then having to remove the seat again. And the way I did it is I can actually reset and turn off this breaker without having to take the seat out. So I can use a screwdriver after I remove this little cover, and I can turn it off and on, and I'm good. Then I took this power, ran underneath to the passenger side to that 50 amp breaker that I showed you guys. And I also ran one back through the different compartments to the back. So that way I don't have to keep running new wires. And if you guys want to check out my wiring video, I'll show you guys some pro tips so you don't have wires showing. There's actually a lot of different ways of running wire, and don't feel like you're going to be stuck with wire showing. On my very first van, an outfitter ran so many wires right here in the corner. It looked really bad. So if you want to avoid that, you want to try to see where you can run these and how to run them safely. This additionally right here is going to be triggered only when the ignition turns on. So as long as you put a 1 amp diode with a fuse, you're going to be okay to tap into something like this. And again, this is already controlled by the computer, so no need to worry. Or you can go ahead and tap into one of the fuses, and this right here is going to be for my dash cam. So you can go through and put a 5 amp fuse and run the wire, and I have a dash cam connected that I did that last night. So if you guys want to check that out, how I did it and how easy it is to remove the covers, I will leave you guys a link for that too. Hey guys, I know this video came out to be a little bit longer than I wanted it, but I wanted to make sure I cover everything with you guys. There are going to be some amplifiers that work really well for the Mercedes-Benz, but again, you're going to have to go and rewire everything, and they're pretty expensive. So I don't feel like spending over $1,000 then having to buy the subwoofer, as it can be very, very expensive by the time you're all done. So if you're looking for something on the cheap, the best upgrade you can do is to disconnect the center speaker. If you guys want to make sure you don't have to do a lot of work, just upgrade the door speakers with the JBLs that I showed on my previous van build, and I'll leave you guys a link to that, and you're going to be happy. If you want to go one step further, then you're going to have to go and use those component series speakers that I showed you guys, and then you're going to have to go and start wiring up everything. These speakers do not sound good when they're unamplified. So if you are going to go amplified, you need to go with the components, and then you have to make sure that you sound detonate your door with sound deadening, and also maybe some thinsulate, and it's going to be a little challenging. Hopefully I gave you guys some ideas. If there's something that I left off, please let me know what it is. I'll leave you guys all the articles from Mercedes-Benz about the wiring harness underneath the driver's side seat, which I couldn't find, the TSB, and anything else. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you guys want to see the whole van build in action, please check the links down below as well as at the end. And as always, make it a great day.